Good afternoon.
Good evening. Welcome to being here. I'm Ariel.
I'm Shia.
You ready to do this show?
I don't know if I can. I may not be talented enough. That's very funny.
What?
Well, you read me something a while ago that was written about 10 years ago.
Yes.
That somebody wrote us. And it has to do with this, I'm not talented enough.
Right.
In that your internal conversation so frequently invalidates you for whatever the reason, that you're not talented enough, you're not doing enough, you're not good enough.
Your reach isn't enough. Your social media presence isn't deep enough or making enough of a difference. Whatever limitations you feel you may have with your family, it's repetitive. And what was funny about what I read, Shia, today, it was, we sat down with a friend of ours, Jerry Gavin, who wrote a book about angels. And from his perspective, he can tune into his angel, Margaret, and Margaret gives him information. It was a very, very sweet time with him and with Margaret. And we asked a question and Margaret gave an answer, which Jerry then translated. And the question was similar to one we might have today, but we think it's current. It's similar to, I can't because I'm not talented enough. What if these starting premises, these limitations that are just self-perceived in their thoughts, repetitive thoughts?
And what if but you listen to them as though you are?
Want a break from those repetitive thoughts?
Try listening.
In case you haven't recognized it yet, Shai and I do finish each other's sentences. That's exactly what I would have said. If you want to break from your repetitive thoughts,
try listening, because no two things can occupy you at the same time. So if you're thinking, you're thinking. If you're listening, and you're not listening to you degrading yourself.
Listening is not only something you do with your ears. When on Zoom seminars with people, we also encourage people to look and connect in with their eyes. But there's other kinds of listening too. Today, Shia vacuumed while I was up doing some emails. And when I went downstairs to walk into our kitchen and I was barefoot, I could feel the difference through the soles of my feet. There was not little microscopic or minuscule particles on the floor. The floor felt very, very different, even though it hadn't been that long since we'd vacuumed. It's not like other people might have noticed it could use vacuum. It was just something that I attended to. So there's bringing awareness outside of your thought process. And in this case, for this show, it really is about listening with your ears, listening to what Shai and I have to say.
Now, look, listening doesn't mean you need to agree or disagree with what we say. In fact, if you agree or disagree, you're not actually listening. You're comparing what's being said to what you believe to be true. And that's where you are. You're in those, because it's not true. The truth is that hearing something will not hurt you. And you don't have to already have known about it or know it. You can learn something new in any given moment of time. There's all this new possibility available to you if you're here for it. But if you think you already know everything, well, then there's not much that I can do for you, or we can do for you.
Or your neighbor, or your partner, or your child. It's amazing how much we can all let go of listening because we're busy going somewhere.
I was going somewhere, I didn't hear you. I was thinking of righteousness.
What about righteousness?
Well, you can be right that you're limited.
I don't think that was exactly going somewhere. It's that you had a
Simul thought,
something that queued up and that it went through and it got between you and actually hearing sound.
That's true.
Yeah. Should we take our first guest?
Let's.
All right. Our first guest is with Heike. Welcome to being here, Heike. Please tell people where you're zooming in from.
Hello, my name is Heike and I'm zooming in from Cologne, Germany.
Welcome. So good to see you.
So good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for suggesting this topic. You know, a while ago we put out to the community at large, is there any theme you would like us to address? And feel free to create a topic and even write what the description is. And I don't recall whether or not the description we're using is yours or something we came up with, but we really appreciate the topic itself because it certainly resonates with people.
Yes, and it certainly resonates with me. I don't know if I brought it up or not, I don't recall, but I know that at the moment, everything is changing in my work life. I'm an actress, and lately I've been going more into filming than theater. And I have this repetitive thought of, I'm not good enough. I don't know how to do that. I've been doing the other thing, the theater, for 25 years now, but this is all new and I'm not talented. So it's like a replay in my
Here's the
head.
thing, Micah. 25 years ago, you probably had the thought, I'm not talented enough for theater.
True.
Or
Yes.
talented enough to dance or talented enough to teach.
Yes.
All of which you do.
It's true. Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting an image of the Olympics and swimming. And you know how the swimmers get up on the blocks and they hold the edge and they put their feet back on the things that are wedged against the feet to push off? That's been your push-off spot.
Yeah.
Who'd you wave to? I just saw you.
My daughter, I'm sorry. She just came into the door, so I waved to her.
Ah, sweet. You don't have to be your sorry. I know people can't see it, but I saw it. So it's like, I'm not talented has been your springboard
Mhm.
into whatever comes next. And then you've jumped in and you've been successful. And now your success is evolving into films. I wouldn't be concerned with that thought. It's just, and it's what happens before you jump into the pool.
Ah.
They call it stage fright.
Yes. It didn't even occur to me. Yes.
Once you start, you're fine.
True.
But before you start, you have thoughts.
Mhm.
And those thoughts are usually to justify failure.
Ah. Like,
I'm not
first I thought
talented
it,
enough to
I
do
got
that.
it, but I didn't really get it. What do you mean by to justify failure?
Well, you have thoughts that tell you you're not going to be as successful as you are.
Mhm.
So if you're not, they get to be right. You get to be right about, or your conversation gets to be right about your perceived limitations.
Ah, yeah. And then it's not that bad, which is not true, but like it feels familiar somehow.
Yeah. Well, you learn to think that way.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting, Heike, as you move from theater to film, I suspect it just requires you to relax and
Mhm.
trust yourself. Because in theater, and in particular children's theater, which you've done a lot of, the movements are big, the facial gestures are big. You're going out to the kids and you're letting them know that, hey, I'm a zebra. You know, if it's film, the camera comes to you.
Mm.
And all you need is to be authentic. And if you trust yourself, you'll discover you're more than enough.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that many years ago when I first met you, like, I don't know, 2007, maybe something like that. You guys said something I'm paraphrasing probably, but something like, you will discover who you are without being an actress. And actually, I didn't like that. I mean, I didn't like you guys saying that. It had nothing to do with you, but with me. And yeah, now I see that one part of me always was afraid of being myself in public.
Like you're not enough.
Yes.
Yes.
But since that time, you've discovered yourself as a wife, you've discovered yourself as a mother and as an artist, and as more recent years, a person who had COVID before. You were one of the first people we knew who ever got COVID, and then long COVID and all the different aspects that came with that. You have so many different aspects to your life, but when you're young and aspiring, it's so easy to identify yourself as only that and have all of life filter through that lens of how would this apply to acting, as opposed to actually living a fulfilling life now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had that on a set lately, that I just didn't do anything. I was just me. I didn't act, and they loved it. And I guess that's the way to go for that.
Well, don't make any decisions.
Okay.
See, you're already planning how to be the next time you do a film or a video, rather than when you get there, you'll be perfectly appropriate. And look, you've survived this thing called life forever. You got to know that your genetic line has been around since the beginning of humanity.
There was no breaks. If there was a break, you would not be here.
Yeah.
So relax. It's all going to work out just dandy.
Yeah, that idea, I'm not talented enough, it's just a ghost.
I like that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
Yes. Hey, it's time for the listener feedback spotlight.
It's where we get to hear from people in this amazing listenership and transformation community talking about what's happening in their lives.
I'm Dorina from Hamburg, Germany. What I love to listen to Arian Shaya in the podcast is that the perfection of the moment where I am, that life is juicy, and I love my life. Thank you.
Do you want to have well-being with consistency? Connect with people all over the world from the comfort of your own home at Arian Shire's lively interactive Living Made Easy virtual seminars. Join any of their 2-hour online events or take a deep dive into the magic of being you at a virtual weekend seminar. Come on, let's connect. Find out more and register at transformationmadeeasy.com.
We're about to head on a vacation, so our next Living Made Easy seminars will be Monday, July 18th, and then Saturday, July 23rd. Our next weekend seminar
is Creativity and Intuition, and that's July 30th and 31st.
I love that seminar.
And that's virtual. So you can join us from
wherever you are. The theme of intimacy is what we'll be looking into on our September virtual seminar on the 17th and 18th. And then our first live in-person seminar in 2.5 years will be happening in October, the 21st through 23rd. So unlike it being just a Saturday and Sunday, it's back to a Friday afternoon, evening, Saturday, Sunday. It's a sleepaway camp for big kids in New Jersey. The theme is being in nature at Camp Tecumseh. So you can find out more about any of our seminars up on our website.
TransformationMadeEasy.com.
But we wanted to make sure you knew about the October course so that you can mark
Plan
your
ahead.
schedules, plan ahead in case you need to travel. Ready for our next guest?
I am
All right, Mr. Mark, where are you?
zooming in from.
Hi there. I'm
Hi.
zooming in from West Hurley, New York, which is upstate New York, about an hour and a half north of Manhattan.
Nice. In good traffic, an hour and a half.
Yes, true.
We used to live up right in your neighborhood, and sometimes it would take like 3 hours, depending on traffic. So,
Yeah, it depends on the time of the week. You know, Sundays are great. Mondays, maybe not so much, you know.
yeah. What can we do for you, sir?
Well, I was thinking about the theme of I'm not, you know, I can't do that because I'm not talented. And I feel like I've had that happen, you know, that thought pattern more than once. And I know before I started writing songs, I had a feeling that, you know, I can play the guitar and I can listen, right, to other people's stuff, but I felt like, well, that's something other people do. I don't do that, you know, and I feel like that was you know, another way of phrasing this, that I'm not talented enough for something. And but then at some point that changed. And I started writing things, and I feel good about that. But when I look now, I find that there's other things that I seem to restrict myself from. And
Anything new.
yes?
Anything new.
Yeah, so lately I've been interested in playing my songs or other songs with other musicians, you know, to be in more of like a band situation.
Mhm.
And I find a lot of, you know, I'm resisting it a lot.
But what if you aren't?
Okay.
You know, you were just saying, oh, that's not something I do, something you said to yourself about, for instance, writing songs back when you weren't writing. What if that's code for, I'm not really interested in doing that yet, or I don't want to do it, or it's too much? You can talk about resisting it. I'm currently working on our next book. It's on a theme of tales about fishing and using fishing as a portal into the moment, fly fishing. And there's been a number of years where it's been coalescing. And I am not looking at it as if I was resisting it or dragging my feet, because I wasn't. I didn't make moves to have it actually gel and come together, and a moment before I was ready. So you can either talk to yourself as if what you're not doing means you're doing something wrong, which is a way of working on yourself, or you can notice that you have the idea, but you haven't picked up the phone or sent a text or an email.
Yeah, okay. That's really true. You know, when you mention that it could be I'm, you know, like trying to put pressure on myself, like I think I need to do something, you know.
That's the
and-
thing, Mark. I think you overthink your life.
Yeah,
You know, like you have to think about it rather than just look and see what needs to be done and do it.
Mhm.
Now, and that could apply to finding a band to play with.
Yeah,
Or
I think,
creating a band.
yeah, no, that sounds true. Yeah, it
You know, and
feels
Ariel
feels
said
right.
earlier that I vacuumed the house.
Yeah.
It wasn't that I thought about it. I saw that the floor needed vacuuming, so I did it. Look, I've been leading seminars, our seminars and other seminars for people for maybe 50 years now.
Hmm.
And I was surprised that I was invited to join a program to lead seminars, because I hate to speak in front of people because I'm not talented enough. I have nothing worth sharing with anybody. That's the story that runs in me.
Yeah.
And it runs in me right up until I open my mouth. And then
Wow.
something comes out of value.
I saw it for you the other day on a Living Made Easy seminar. Eric, who is also, amongst other things, a musician and plays the guitar and writes music. And somebody asked him the difference between an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar. And he gave a very good description, and he demonstrated things. It was really fun for people who didn't know, myself included, certain aspects of how, for instance, an electric guitar works, to hear it from his perspective. But I saw you sit up and you had something to say also, not in competition to him, but because you had an experience that came to mind for you. I saw it blossom on your face. I saw you sit up, lean forward, and then dismiss it and sit back.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And I remember feeling just really excited, you know, and like he was talking my language, and it, you know, like I don't know what I would have contributed. And I think maybe I was just not thinking that what I had was as valuable as what I was hearing him say, which I thought was great.
Well, but you see, that's the thing. You undermine your own brilliance by the thoughts you had that suppress you. And that's so normal.
Yeah.
I mean, even if what it was you saying, hey, Eric, you're speaking my language. Hearing you talk about this makes me excited.
Yeah.
It's as if you seed the space, or I don't mean seed as in plant, I mean as let go of. It's like,
right,
like to
give the right
secede
away,
from
like
the union.
yield the right away.
right.
Because
and seed is the Spanish word for yield.
right.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Cedar El Paso.
Yeah, Cedar El Paso.
So yeah, when you've got like a one-lane bridge, they always have one side that says Cedar El Paso, like, the other person coming has the right of way. That's your fallback position. Unless you have a
script
or a position, like when you're taught to teach somebody how to do software and you're the teacher for the class, you don't exercise that fallback position. You're looking and seeing and teaching and making sure that
but that's
information gets across.
That in that moment, you don't have your attention on you and how you will be perceived, because you've been given by agreement that you are the teacher, you know what the subject is, and you're going to impart that information to your students. So you leave you alone then.
Yeah, it's like when I'm following the rules,
Yeah, but afterwards, you may then beat on yourself thinking you should have said something differently or said it a different way.
I should have said this to Ariel and Shia.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Mark, it's about trusting yourself. And my
Okay.
friend, you cannot do your life wrong.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
great.
Really, because you see, the idea is that we make mistakes in life.
Mhm.
I believe we make mistakes. I believe that everything we do is purposeful.
Okay.
This reading from our friend Jerry, who I happened across today on my desktop while I was going and cleaning out articles to see which ones I actually completed, which ones we published, things like that. He was talking about how Shia might have a concern because he's a humble person to not want to appear arrogant. And he also said it's not possible. And I look at you and I think you remind me of that. It's
Yep.
like you
Yeah.
don't allow yourself to be fully self-expressive because you're afraid you're going to come across as something arrogant,
A know-it-all.
snooty,
Yeah.
a know-it-all. And I keep getting like, it's very interesting how things
Well,
are flashing
see,
through my mind.
It's my experience, belief, thought that when you were a kid, you were very smart and you had to dumb yourself down,
Mhm.
not be picked on by other dumb people.
Yeah. That's the truth. Yeah.
That's it. And
You weren't like a big burly person, so they
No.
could probably pick on you pretty
Right.
effectively.
but
Yeah.
childhood is rough on most folks.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember being, for a long time when I was young, like in the first few grades, I remember just being happy and smiley all the time, until there was some time around the 4th grade or so, or 3rd grade, where I remember something happening that changed that, that I wasn't ever aware of what people thought of me, but somebody said to me something about, the way I was being, that I was, what are you smiling about this, something like that. I don't know, it just caught me.
Well, it threw your attention back on you. So you
Yeah.
weren't just being in your life, you were being careful in your life.
Mhm.
And you've been
Yeah.
careful for a long time. And I'm suggesting that you can, when you can set aside that careful nature and be bold.
That's one of I had 2 quotes kept running through my head. One was the Goethe quote, boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. But the other is the Shakespeare quote, be not afraid of genius or greatness. And I have a feeling that I just see you as this great, radiant being in a mummy suit, like you're in a restricted,
Right, like a straitjacket or something.
Yeah.
And
Well, but of your own making.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because the decision you made in 4th grade
Mhm.
to suppress yourself and not be so enthusiastic.
and not look stupid.
Yeah. Or, and it was
Well-
me thinking I looked stupid. I don't think, I don't remember them saying that, but I
You
definitely
see,
took that on.
Children are really hard on themselves. If you punish a child, you say, what should be your punishment for doing that? They'll come up with something much harsher than you would.
Go to my room for 53 days and never eat macaroni and cheese again,
There you
or
go.
something like that.
Yeah.
See, I saw that straitjacket start to loosen on
Yeah.
Saturday. And one of the things that's going to support you in bridging the gap is pretending when you come to Living Made Easy that it is your seminar.
And
own
you're
that
and you're
seminar.
leading it. See, you can
Mhm.
speak up. You really
Yeah.
can. Yeah, and like I said, you can't do it wrong.
And you've seen me
Cool.
do that. I know it's been a while since we've done in-person courses,
Mm-hmm.
but there have been plenty of times where I have in Costa Rica or in other courses, I've said, hey, come sit here with Shia and I'll sit in your chair.
Right, right.
And I stood up and participated from that chair just as well as I did from the front of the room. It
Yeah,
really depends on whether or not you own what's happening or you keep disregarding what you have to say is unimportant.
yeah, yeah, got it.
I don't think it's that you disregard what you have to say is unimportant. I think it's more that the possible repercussions of your speaking out
Mhm.
might be disagreeable. They might not like what
Mhm.
happens if you speak out, so you don't speak out.
Yeah, I think I build up a fear of,
Well-
and it's not specific. It's not like this is going to happen. It's just like something, some
I'll get in
nebulous
trouble.
thing is going to happen.
I'll get in trouble. They'll
Yeah.
crucify me.
Mhm. Which is called Zoom, as I understand.
Yes, that's true. Can't really read.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's a good.
No, this is, yeah, thank you so much. This is, yeah, this is great.
Look, man, it's okay to have fun with your life, you see.
Mhm.
It really is. It's not that serious. The world around us is very serious these days.
Yeah,
And people are right about their points of view. And it really doesn't matter.
I have another one aside from I'm not talented enough or oh look, I'm resisting starting. Is this one. Although I'm not gonna give you the thought process you may entertain, I'm going to tell you my observation. You ready?
Okay. Yes, I'm ready.
People,
Mhm.
Shia and myself included, really, really like you.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
It is. You are.
Hmm. Yeah, wonderful.
Thanks for being.
Yeah, it's great to see you guys and great to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Oh, it was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
If you enjoyed the podcast, you can leave a review on your favorite podcast app. It helps other people find being heard. And if you feel to do it or do it again, because sometimes some of you have already done that once or twice, thanks in advance. Ready for next week's podcast?
I am.
I think we led up to it with speaking to Mark. It's
You are.
a miracle. And you are. We'll be back next week.
So come on back.
And don't
Miss
miss
being here.